Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried.
Hello everyone. Welcome again to Current Truth K podcast. Today we're gonna be talking about the difference between tradwives and women that are actually looking for the bag and actually want to make their life better and wants a partner that absolutely care and provide for them without limiting themselves into domestic work and all of that, and actually want to live the life of leisure. Now, before we get started into this topic, I'm gonna say this: do not forget to press that like button, and if you have something to add in this particular video, please do not forget to press or leave your comment. Do not forget to leave your comments. So let's get into this. So recently, we've been hearing about tradwives, and this is the thing. I'm just gonna say it over here. I understand that I normally tell women, yes, look for a husband that can provide for everything and anything, but there is a difference between, we women over here and the tradwives. The tradwives normally they fully depend on their husbands for everything, for jobs, for money, for everything. And there is, I'm going to say, for that particular topic, it's a little bit different for us because we talk about getting the bag, we talk about making sure you live a life of luxury, you live a life of leisure. And this is the thing: the trad wife trend is about submitting, cooking, cleaning, being the domestic worker, taking care of the kids, and literally, making yourself the foot mat. But this is the thing. I understand a lot of women are gonna disagree with me and be like, oh, it's not like that. You just have to find a reasonable man, a man that really loves you. But the question is, what about when he stopped loving you? Then what? What are you gonna do when he stops? See, over here we talk about securing yourself in future and also making sure, you know, that if he leaves tomorrow, you are not fully dependent. I've seen many videos of really young women coming out and talking about trad wife, being a trad wife, not opening a business. I've even had stories of, women in their 40s that have literally come out and that were the ones that were trad wives and came out and be like, I opened business in his name, I did this and this, and I submitted, and I cleaned the house, I took care of the home, I was a homemaker. And at the end of the day, many of these women still don't have enough money to even buy groceries. The husbands don't even take care of these women. Like, and when it gets to that divorce time, when he stopped loving them or stopped loving this particular woman, she finds it very hard to accumulate money or go back into the, into the work service. And she has no money. And these are the women that will come and cry, he left me with 4 kids and with no money. And I feel like this is an agenda at this point because if you guys remember, there was a time that women were going after true love. They didn't care about the looks. They were just looking for love with no money. And nowadays that women are actually, taking it back and being like, you know what? I have seen women go down this road for a long time and not enough come of it, only suffering. I'm not gonna do that. I am gonna do better. And I feel like this, trad wife trend is organized. That is what I think, because they're like, as a woman, you should submit and do this. I'm not talking about not submitting. I'm talking about what is she gonna get out of this, and then make it sound like being a trad wife, you're gonna have to, clean, do the domestic work, something that if you employ somebody, it's gonna cost money. Literally take on free labor. Go into the kitchen, do all your best, take care of the kids, take care of this man, literally raise your husband and your kids. and be proud of it. And if he stops loving you, well, that's it. There is nothing you can actually do. And some of these old trad wives have literally come out and literally talk about this, saying that the man would leave them with money, without any money, and the woman have to raise these kids without any occupation. She knows how to do absolutely nothing. She did not save money when she was with this man. She was just over there helping, taking care of the kids, and thinking that was not a job. And that is why I always tell women, if you're going for a man, of course, go for the bag, and make sure you take some of those bags, you keep some of those bags, unless you're going to come out here losing your mind. You're going to have to look at the long game, not the short game, not, oh my God, he loves me right now. If you notice something, normally people come out and be like, men are physical creatures. Yeah. And as a woman, you're supposed to understand that, but women should love, give unconditional love. I'm always saying, I'm going to always stand by this word. Do not love anyone unconditionally except yourself and your children. A man outside, no, not unconditional love. The love should come conditionally. And I also come out here and I tell women, if you don't cook, it's fine. I even talk about, if you meet a man, you can even tell him you don't know how to cook. You don't know how to clean. So that you know if he's just there for your labor or if he's there for you. Is he there to be in love with you, or is just looking for free labor? You're going to have to decide. And he has to make up his mind if he is really in love with you or is just looking for your labor. Because all of these things, and this is the thing, you can never see a woman in her 40s coming out and talking about being a trad wife. It is funny though. So you know what, ladies, I have some videos that I'm going to bring up and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you guys my commentary as usual. So let's go.
This is going to be controversial, but when it comes to the Tradwife at 20 to single mom at 40 pipeline, y'all really have no one but yourselves to blame. What do y'all think the second wave feminist movement was all about? The grannies been told us. The aunties been told us. Our grandmothers had to fight the U.S. government to get bank accounts. And barely even 50 years later, y'all are voluntarily giving them up because Connor from English 101 told you he was going to love you forever. What? Y'all, please BFFR. We are so much smarter than this, ladies. Do not trust the relationship decisions you make at a time where your boobs are fully developed, but your brain is not. When you let a man have complete and total financial control over you, he will always eventually fuck you over. At the end of the day, they're always going to have the mindset of, well, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. The entire stability of your life cannot rely on a man that you marry in your 20s wanting you for the next 60 years. And vice versa, because the tea is, what happens when you wake up and you don't want him anymore? What happens when you're ready to walk away, but you have no job experience, no bank account, nothing, because your entire future relied on this guy, this one human being wanting you forever, or you wanting them forever. I love my man down. I would die for that man right now. I truly am in love with him from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head, but I will always love myself more. Always. I'm talking separate bank accounts, prenup, the works. Because when you fail to plan, you're what? Planning to fail. Always remember, if you don't take nothing else away from this conversation, always remember a man is not a plan. A man is not a plan. A man is not a plan.
And she's totally right. I love exactly what she said. But this is the thing. A man is not a plan does not mean you're going to have to go pick up a brookie. I'm just going to say it out. So let's not get things twisted. You get me? A man is not a plan, but does not mean that you're going to have to go find one on the streets, under the bridge. What we preach over here, see, I'm going to say this. I always tell women, pick the best man for you and make sure he has the bag. And make sure that, if you two go your separate ways, you're going to live with something. You are going to live with something. Now, I'm going to bring up this video over here of the women that have actually gotten something, and they were not Tradwives. I've had a lot of horrible stories from women that live this wife life, coming out and being like they didn't have a dime to their name. And now I'm seeing this trend. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? Let's go into this next video over here.
Here are the top 3 women who became billionaires just from divorcing their husbands. In third place is Elaine Wynn, and she's the ex-wife of Steve Wynn, who's well known for creating the casino company Wynn Resorts. And in 2022, these two got divorced and Elaine received 11 million shares of the company. At the time, it was valued at $795 million, but as of today, it's worth around $1.7 billion. In second place is Melinda Gates. As you probably know, Melinda was married to Bill Gates, the once richest man in the world. But last year, they got divorced and Melinda received approximately $6 billion from the settlement.
So that was in 2001, people. Let's continue.
Now finally, in first place is Mackenzie Scott, and she's the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos. She divorced Jeff because apparently he had an affair with the once famous TV anchor, Lawrence Sanchez. And as part of the divorce settlement, Mackenzie received 25% of Jeff's Amazon stock. At the time, this was worth around $36 billion, making her the richest woman in the world.
Now, I hope that you ladies all listen to that. These women were not tradwives. That is exactly why they were able to get a settlement out of their divorce. Now, if you are a tradwife, you are not allowed to have a bank account. Let's just say the truth, the traditional. If you want to be a true traditional wife, you are not allowed to have a bank account. You are not allowed to have anything in your name. And when your husband divorces you, you can't have anything. You can't have anything. And that is the mentality that they're trying to put on younger girls nowadays. And if you look at all this tradwife trend, it's very young women that are doing this, 22 years old, 20 years, I have not seen a 50-year-old tradwife come out here and talk about being a tradwife. That should tell you a lot. That speaks a lot of volume. Now, I want these young ladies out here to be very mindful of what they do. I myself, I have a daughter and I am very, very protective of my daughter. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I would like any of these people to influence her life because it's just going to lead her the wrong way. And I don't want to hear, I'm going to stand by you, man. I'm not raising a daughter that is going to stand by you if you don't have the bag, if you don't view her as the love of your life. Meanwhile, having all the necessity to be married to her and have kids and provide and be able to pay for services. No, absolutely not. No way. My child is not going to be your domestic worker. This is another thing. Let's talk about this. Have you guys noticed of all these tradwife videos that they've been doing? It's always the very easy chores that they do, like cooking, baking a cake. They never show you what it means to clean the stain off that man's pants. They don't show you how they have to clean all the mess around the house, the physical, real labor of being a tradwife. They don't want to show that. And that is why I absolutely believe that this is programmed. Because a lot of men are out here crying, talking about they're single and they're trying to, set women up and be like, oh, being a tradwife is the best thing. No, it's not. Girl, don't you do that. Don't. I mean, the pygmies out here are being pygmies. And at this point, I'm just going to say the tradwives are giving me pygmy vibes. Yes, they're giving pygmy vibes. They're giving, I'm gonna lick your boots just to be married to you. And I want absolutely nothing. I'm just your house nanny, your housekeeper. Oh, all of these chores that they do, they think it's not a work. People get paid for this. But I digress. You know what? Let me just bring up another video over here of somebody talking about this particular, topic.
Do you know what I think is really interesting about tradwife content is that you never see women in their 40s or 50s making it. And there are 40 and 50-year-old tradwives who have been living their tradwife lifestyle their entire adult lives, but you don't see them making TikTok content, mostly because they don't really have time to make it, but also because their life is just not aesthetic for TikTok. When you hear tradwife, you think Alice bands and pretty aprons and chubby babies and perfect white rompers, but you definitely don't think about the toll a decade worth of back-to-back pregnancies has on a human body. You think perfect blonde blowout and not greasy ponytail and random hair loss. You think you're going to be frolicking with your children in a meadow in some floral print gunny sacks dress? Girl, you're going to be in line at Target.
Now, the next video that I'm going to bring up here
fine,
is a woman that claims to be a tradwife and how her husband is maltreating her, handling money, and how she's not being cared for or cared for, and her struggles. Now, I want you ladies to understand. We over here, we don't do tradwife stuff. No, we do not deal with that. Those are women that I feel like people that were waiting to be picked for a long time, and they wanna, they want that life. So let me bring up this video over here of a woman that claimed to be a tradwife, coming out in TikTok and literally crying about how she's being treated.
I want to start this video by saying that I'm not asking for money and I'm not asking for sympathy. What I'm asking for is if you are a young 14, 16, 21-year-old girl, listen up. I drove to the grocery store. I need to grab some milk and bread and a couple things, flipped open the bank app on my phone, and I've been sitting in my car crying ever since because I never have enough money. And why do I never have enough money? Because when I was a 19-year-old girl, I fell in love. My Mormon faith told me that I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. I got married. I started having babies. I dropped out of college. I never had a career. My only jobs that I ever had in life were a waitress at the Olive Garden and managing a pretzel maker in a mall. Oh, my first couple years of marriage, I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I bought a windshield business. I was 20. And my Mormon stake president reminded me that women weren't supposed to work, so I quit my own business, handed it over to my husband, took my name off of it. I would work our family business throughout the next 24 years of my marriage, but I never got paid.
First mistake, stopping your job. Second mistake, putting the business name in your husband's name and removing your name. Girl, no. Now, this is why I love my channel over here, because we talk about justice a lot. And I tell women, no, you cannot go after a man that is a dusty, a man that is very broke. If he's broke, no. If he's talking about stand by me while I build, it's a no. We do not do, I'm going to stand by you kind of woman. We do not do it over here. Goodness God. And the fact that she talked about she worked without getting paid. This is the life that these women out here are lying to these younger women. These younger women are playing with themselves out here, talking about being a tradwife. Girl, you better call an older tradwife, an ex-tradwife, and talk to them if you're looking for advice, if you've lost your way, baby. Because no, this is not the way. It is so funny. Oh my God. So she's been doing all that emotional labor, physical labor, both in the business and domestically at home, and she didn't get paid. Now, this is what the tradwife trend is preaching about. Ladies, you better be careful out here. I saw one, talking about she wants to sell her market bags or something like that. I'm like, ain't you supposed to be a tradwife and not supposed to earn any money or have anything in your name? I don't understand. I mean, this is what I call F around and find out, because all these young girls that are going this way, you're going to F around and you're going to find out and you're going to come right back in here. And this has nothing to do with feminism. This is just the truth.
I didn't have a salary. My name wasn't on it. I literally worked for room and board. That's it. I would eventually also launch a custom home building company with my uncle as the architect and my friends as the builder, my designs, my realtor. But again, because my husband was the man, his name was on all of the projects, his name was on the business. I remember one of the last custom homes that I built, we sold it and made about a $260,000 profit. That money all went into his bank account. I didn't even have a bank account. I should have said that in the beginning. I never had a bank account.
Like I said before, this tradwife trend is promoted. Girls, ladies, they're trying to play with you. They're trying to play with you right now. They're trying to play with you. Are you serious? Like, she put all of this effort and she didn't even have a bank account, girl. Oh my God, that man about to play some football in her face. I already know he already did this woman dirty for her to come outside and start crying. Girls, ladies, this is what I'll be talking about. It is not a good thing to be a pygmy. You're gonna pay for your pygmy ways. It is not a good thing to be a Barbara the Builder. I am gonna stand by you, woman. It's never beneficiary for you to be, I'm gonna stand by you, I'm gonna come to the house, I'm gonna clean, do all the domestic work. I always tell women, see, if you cannot afford a domestic worker, if you cannot afford to pay a domestic worker, a cleaner for a service, girl, nah. What are you? Free labor person? What are you? No. That man is not ready for marriage if he cannot afford to take care of you financially and in every way. And still give you money to put on the side. If he's out here being stingy, no, he is not for you. A woman needs a backup plan, which means you need money. Even though you want him to take care of you 100% and pay for everything, you still need a backup plan. And that's what we've been preaching out here. That's why when we say, go after the bag, we mean that.
He would give me little envelopes of cash to go grocery shopping with. Anyway, that house sells, the money goes in the bank. I just asked if I could buy myself a piano with the money. I had worked on building that house for 2 years. All of the money went into his bank account. Nothing was under my name. I got a piano and I got a free house to live in. And I got groceries. So I found myself divorced at age 44 just 5 years ago, and within just a few months I was living in my car. While he made about $250,000, he would eventually quit that job so that he wouldn't have to pay alimony and child support. He has only paid alimony one time ever in the 5 years since we've been divorced. Once ever. Right after my divorce, I remember being really confident about my ability to get a job, so I put together a resume. I remember one of the first interviews that I had as a management position for a windshield company, similar to the one that we had run. And the man actually laughing as he was interviewing me, like he was really sympathetic. He wasn't being a douchebag, but he was laughing. And he's like, so let me get this straight. You helped manage your family windshield business with your husband, but you were mostly a stay-at-home mom, and all you did was like the marketing and the hiring, firing, and some of the strategy for the business. But it became really apparent that I needed so many more skills to have any type of management job. I couldn't even work the basic computers. He told me in the interview, please don't apply for any more jobs like this. You are not qualified at all. You're not capable of doing this unless you go back to school and get your degree or get some different experience. And so I ended up, my first job after my divorce was $11 an hour, 4 hours a day, working as an assistant to a school teacher in an elementary school. I made $44 a day. For 24 years, I lived in $1 million homes. I vacationed all over the world. I spent my summers in Hawaii. I could buy myself $500 jeans, diamond tennis bracelets. We had boats and RVs and whatever I wanted. And it never bothered me once that my financial security was dependent on that man being in love with me. I never realized that him liking me or not liking me or finding me sexy or attractive or interesting determined whether or not my children could eat, whether or not I could buy myself a fucking jug of milk and a loaf of bread. So I had my 5th surgery in 2 years, 2 weeks ago, and I'm supposed to be in bed resting, and I can't because I've worked 7 days a week since my divorce 5 years ago, which is why I'm covered in paint and looking like crap. We actually have a 4-day weekend here in Tucson, and since my partner isn't working, he's working on furniture flip partner projects with me. I have no retirement. I have no savings, no education, no resume. I was almost a straight A student throughout all of my education. I went to college at age 17. I had dreams for my future. I'm working so hard to get myself out of just perpetual side hustle hell. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wonder why I didn't have a fucking back.
Now this here is what we talk about in this channel. I feel bad for her. I really do feel bad for her because, she was a child at the time. She was only 19. I kind of do feel bad for her. But this whole trending nonsense of, No. Oh, be a domestic worker, but it's called being submissive wife. It's called feminism. It's being feminine. I mean, they're not even calling it feminism. They're literally saying that it's not feminism, that is being feminine and being judged as a woman and let men be men. And I'm like, see, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm not somebody that is over crazy about feminism. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys already know my take. I'm a womanist. Yes, I'm more about. I agree on whatever a woman wants to do, she can do it. That is my take. And this is the thing. While some people, because there are also people that are out here claiming feminism and building a man. They're like, I'm a feminist, strong woman, and I'm a feminist. I'm building a man and doing all of that. I'm gonna say we over here, we kind of in the in between. Because we're looking at the trad wives that are submissive. I'm gonna turn myself into a carpet and let him walk all over me because I'm submissive. And then we're watching the other side where the women are talking about, oh, I'm a feminist, I'm a strong woman, I can make my own money and stand over there bringing to the table 50-50, getting into 50-50 relationships and providing for the man, sending the man to school and all of that and building him up and becoming Barbara the Builders. We are literally in the middle because we are over here being like, I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm not crazy. See, if he don't have the bag, I don't want him. And if he has the bag, he must not be stingy, because if he's stingy, I'm leaving. It's a waste of my time. He must love me for me. Because normally they're out here always talking about men are physical beings. Well, if you're a physical being and I'm a physical woman, and you better take care of me physically, and you better make sure that I have enough money to go on vacations and all of that. And let me tell you something, ladies, for those ladies that, if you're part of this community of ours, that you're married and you're living the life of luxury and leisure, I'm going to tell you this, like I always give the advice. Make sure you have a small business somewhere. Make sure you stash money somewhere. Make sure you keep some money somewhere for the rainy day. You never know. You never know. Lightning might strike one day, and then you'll be out here being like, "Oh my God, I can't find anything. I didn't have the money." No, girl, no, don't play that stupid game. We are not doing it over here. We don't play that stupid game or support that over here. You better make sure you have a stash of money somewhere where you are saving it. So let's continue.
Backup plan. Why my kids eating and having stability was dependent on a romantic relationship. Why nobody told me to put money in the bank. Why nobody told me don't have babies until you have an education and some experience. Don't have so many kids. I wish somebody had told me to put my name on our vehicle loans and to put my name on our houses. I wish somebody had told me that it's okay to put those babies in daycare for a couple days a week and go to college and have a job. And I think I need to do an entire Tradwife sequel, because you can be happy and rich and loving your life like Ballerina Farm until the guy walks out.
Absolutely
I
true.
want you guys to imagine for a minute, even rich Hannah. If Deanna walked out, if all of his financial backing and he had to sell the farm, and then what does she have? Find another rich boy to marry? I just don't want one more woman to DM me, comment, send me their stories, cry to me about how hard it is for them to support their families, and I am so tired of living my own story. We have to make this stop. Raise your daughters to be financially independent. Focus on their futures and educations just as much as you focus on your sons. I wish that someone had done that for me.
And that is exactly what I'm trying to do here with my channel. This is the thing. Ladies, like I said before, if you're looking for love, you're going to have to love yourself. You must find a way to have self-love and integrity on yourself, and look at yourself as you are worthy of all those things that you want. Because if you go out there instead of loving yourself and put all that love and energy on a man, you can never trust anyone. You can never trust anybody. And this is why I come up here and I talk about this issue as well. Talking about the pygmies, and now we're talking about trad wives. We're talking about tradwives. We're talking about, the women that are out here talking about, I'm so strong, I'm going to stand by him, I'm going to build him, build me up, Felicia. This is the thing. You're gonna have to, as a woman, put yourself first in every situation. Put yourself first. Think about the future, your future, and not only the good things. You also have to think about, what about if it goes south? What about if things don't work the way I want them to work? You have to have a backup plan. You need a backup plan. Now, you know what? We're gonna go on. I'm gonna bring the last video up in here, and then we're gonna conclude this particular topic. So let's get into it.
I just realized what it is about traditional wife or tradwife content that bothers me and probably so many other women that it's hard to put into words. It's the same reason why I don't make that type of content, even though you could consider me a tradwife. I think it has to do with the fact that, look, if you really want to talk about the experience of being a traditional wife, it doesn't look like this content that we're being shown with the 1950s housewife, like that niche, right? Where they're like cooking all day and they make this beautiful breakfast and they're all glam in their hairs and rollers and they get dressed up for their husband. Because so many of us, and probably the majority of us, that is just not our experience as wives. Being a traditional wife is messy. It is little fingers under the door when we're trying to go to the bathroom. It's mentee bees. It's the house being a mess when he gets home because they've gotten out every toy in the house because we actually played with them and they played with each other. It is homework, it's being late, it's shuttling kids from activity to activity. It's every time I need to do something for myself, my child didn't get something that they needed. This thing that's being put out on the internet for most of us, the postpartum period isn't us all dressed up in a bed looking beautiful, with a photographer. This doesn't resemble the majority of our experience. So when we see this content, we have like this visceral reaction, like, my life doesn't look like that. My life is messy. It's hard. It's postpartum depression. It's weight gain and getting used to this new body. It is trying to have a relationship with my husband and be a good enough parent at the same time. And this content does not reflect. It is not relatable. So if it's not relatable, then what is it? It's fetish. That's what it is. It's fetish content. It is like softcore corn for men. So we're realizing that this content isn't for us. And when this content is put out there and it's grabbing men's attention, it's like saying that that's what we should be like. And that's why it's offensive. So for me, as a traditional wife, there are not many of that type of content that I follow or even look at because it just doesn't mirror my experience and it irks me. And I finally figured out why. Now, am I saying that being a traditional wife is something to be ashamed of or something that you can't document at all? No, if you're not explaining your children. And I think that's part of it too, is that a lot of this exploits little children who cannot consent to being on the internet. So then you get into like mommy vlogging and things like that. It's glamorizing something that is not glamorized. It is making something look soft and beautiful that is often messy and difficult. It's for the attention of men and not for us. And it feels hurtful and it feels like a betrayal by women who know that that's not what it really looks like. And it's set to get the attention of men. And then we get compared to this content. And I think that's what it is. It just hit me out of the blue when I was thinking about why I don't do content like that. And that's why, because if you saw me do traditional wife content, it would be the yogurt that I was bent over cleaning up off the floor a minute ago. It would be the fact that I had to take a DiGiorno pizza out and scrape the sauce from underneath the cheese because my littlest one won't eat sauce, and trying to disguise that. It's talking about why these kids these days don't like to eat food that doesn't, come out of a wrapper, which I also figured out why that is. It's because food that comes out of the ground that is natural is not consistent. And I just had that epiphany today. The fact that we have all of these picky eaters, that picky eating is because when they grab for goldfish, they look and taste the same every single time. But when they get a banana or an apple, it might not taste or look exactly like the last one. And these children that are growing up in this day and age of electronics where their Roblox game is the same every single time, they want that from their food and they don't want to be surprised. But anyway, that is what traditional wife content really is. But to really show the pain and the day-to-day of it, we'd have to exploit children. So if it's anything else, it's fetish. Tell me I'm wrong.
I totally agree. It is fetish because I think, I can't remember where I heard about a woman talking about her husband wants to divorce her now. And because he's been watching, Tradwife content. And, and now he wants a traditional wife because she's walking and he's talking about he wants a traditional wife. And I'm like, girl, you better run. If he wants I don't want you fighting that man. Do not fight that man. Let him go get himself a traditional wife. I just feel bad for the woman that wants to come over there and be a traditional wife because that man is looking for every way to exploit that uh, woman that he wants to be married to. That trad wife that he's looking for a slave. I'm not even gonna play with it because this woman was talking about, they normally pay somebody to come and cater for them, like clean, because they're both working and they have kids and she can't do all of that. And then he's talking about, oh my god, I want to divorce you now because I've been watching Tradwife content. And I'm like, yeah, girl, take your bags and leave. And this is the thing, she's in a 50-50 relationship. I couldn't give her so much advice because I think it was on Reddit or TikTok, I can't remember. I couldn't write a lot of advice in there. I couldn't give her a lot of advice. I was like, girl, first mistake, you did a 50-50 relationship. I am totally not into that 50-50 nonsense. You allowed him to, walk all over you, first thing. You are out here earning money and bringing it to him. He's out here looking at you like, man, I don't really love you like that because let's not forget, men mostly do not really. I mean, if they marry you, and most of them, no, I don't think all of them, but this is the thing. It's very hard to not talk about this because most of the men that are doing 50-50 relationships actually don't really care about their partners. I'm not gonna stand here and lie. Nah, many of them don't. And when they make it in life, girl, you best believe they're gonna leave you. They're gonna leave you. Now, this is the thing. Ladies, you're going to have to be vigilant out here. You're going to have to be wise. You're going to have to understand that if he's out here looking for you, trying to get your attention, but yet cannot provide anything for you and cannot provide, paying a service for the house and expecting you to do the domestic work and all that labor, yeah, he really doesn't care about you like that. Tell him to keep it pushing. That is my advice. You should keep it pushing. So let's go for the next one.
Nora Smith has a full-time nanny, or her kids get an obscene amount of screen time. Those are the only two options. I'm not taking any questions.
I have heard a lot about this Nora Smith girl. I don't know what she does. If she, I'm not really into that trout wife thing. I just heard about this not long ago, but I'm just surprised. But I don't know about the girl. I really don't care. To each his life. But this is the thing. My advice is, ladies, be vigilant. Make sure that you always go after the bag because at the end of the day, you might be the loser. You're always going to be the loser if you don't plan your future. You're always going to lose. So with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope that you guys love this segment, this topic today. And let me know what you think in the commentary. Do not forget to press that like button, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.
Bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build